Hi, it's me. We're back again. It's the Hate and It's Hoop again. Today I wanted to talk about like extracurricular activities. Either, ones that you did while you were in school or ones that you now find yourself doing as an adult. And how, I don't know, weird it is and how that dynamic has shifted, right? So like, obviously, growing up, if you didn't have money, like a big part, of like your schooling was trying to like fill out your like academic resume to get into college, specifically so you can get like scholarships and stuff, because that was kind of like your gateway out of town or out of like your social class or like your like wherever you were at that time. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know, like I knew a lot of people who were in middle and high school and they did a lot of shit after school that was like connected to school in some way so that they could say that they did it, so that it would look good on a transcript or on a resume later on, right? And maybe you would be able to be picked up for a scholarship in that thing. You know, I'm talking about like sports, chess club, debate club, like all that shit, right? You're in jazz band, like all that. Like, I don't know that many people, honestly, who were involved in extracurriculars while we were in like high school because they were really into that shit. You know, most of the time it was just very blatantly because it looks good on a resume, you know? It makes you seem, well-rounded. That was like the whole big thing. Like, you need to seem well-rounded. You need to have this stuff on your transcript in order to get into a good school, because you get into a good school, then you get a good job, then you can, have a good life and stuff. And even like when college came around, like if you were able to get into college, because obviously like some people couldn't or some people didn't, like that was still like a weird thing where people would participate in extracurriculars, clubs or sporting teams and all that shit, just like because it looked good, because it made them like it like gave them these like social connections that they wanted, but it also just like gave like a better story for their time at school. You know what I mean? You got to rub elbows with people who were like kind of forced to do it as well, but like you're rubbing elbows with like, quote, the right people, you know? It always seemed very strange to me. Like, I didn't really do any extracurriculars at all in high school. Like, I had my own things going on for sure, but I didn't do anything like related to the school. And then like in college, I didn't do shit. But that was just always like a very like silly thing for me. You know, I just thought that it was like, I don't know, like it seemed like just kind of like phony and fake. Like it still kind of does. Like, I understand that, like, people like to do sports and people like to do, like, extra, like, academic pursuits, but it just really seems like, I don't know, if you're only doing this just so, like, you can maybe have, like, a small percentage chance, like, to get into a good school or do whatever, like, it kind of seems like not worth it to me. But also, idle hands and keeps you out of trouble, so, like, I guess that's cool. But like as an adult, like that dynamic definitely like gets weirder, right? Because like you have your extracurriculars, you have like your hobbies, and you're always faced like with this sort of like choice of like, do I want to do this for fun or do I want to try and make money off of it? You know what I mean? And obviously like the current economic situation has like forced a lot of people to try and find like extra income, taxable or otherwise. And so you do find people who like were remotely into something or who were remotely good at something being like, how can I profit off of this? How can I like monetize this? How can I capitalize off of this? It's weird. Like it really is weird. Like I can't tell you a single person who doesn't have some sort of side hustle, who doesn't have some sort of like commodified like interest. And it's an extracurricular, right? Because it's something that originally you weren't getting paid for. It was just something that you did outside of like what you were supposed to do, outside of the curriculum of your day. And so like if you were into like arts and crafts, if you like made music, if you, wrote, if you baked, cooked, like these are all things now that all the homies are trying to make money off of. And, I'll be real, like some people are really good and really talented, and they could be compensated, right? Obviously, if you're like getting a service from someone, you should pay them for it, right? Like if they're making you something, if they're giving you a product, like upon request or like commission, whatever, obviously you should be paying them. But then you also have friends who it's like they're trying to take like their artistic endeavors, painting, music, whatever, and sort of be like, hey, if you fuck with what I do, throw me some cash because I'm hungry. You know what I mean? Like it gets to be a little weird. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I support the homies when I can, where I can, but it's like now that everyone is commodifying all of their shit, like I don't know, like it gets to be difficult to like figure out who is deserving of your limited extra income, you know? Like, it's completely fine for people to do stuff for fun, and everyone needs to do stuff for fun too, but then like when society sort of forces you to be like, hey, you could maybe make some money off of that, and if you did, then you would be making money off of something you like because you're already doing it, as opposed to like being forced to sit at this job that you're only taking so you can pay your bills. It's alluring, like, and I have fallen for that many a times. You know what I mean? Like, I have had those conversations, with like everything I do, band stuff, podcast stuff, like other shit too, where it's like, oh, I like doing that. Like, maybe if I hustled, maybe if I tried hard, I could make money off of that, and then I wouldn't have to work whatever job I'm working at the time. And like, I don't know, not to be a downer, but a lot of times it doesn't work for everybody. You know, it really is like luck of the draw, and there are like a lot of like privileged social factors that come into like how lucky you can be with making money off of your extracurricular activity, off of your side hustle. But like a lot of times for most of us, like our extracurriculars just stay hobbies. Like, they don't become like a means of making a living. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're really good at it, like if like it, you know, I know people who are in very popular bands, but they make money, but they sure as fuck don't make a living, you know? I know people who are really good at sports and they play on like semi-pro teams or whatever, but it's like they don't make a living doing that. Like, it's very hard for you to make a living doing your arts and crafts. It's very hard for you to make a living publishing your poetry or your short stories, even if they're objectively amazing. Like, a lot of things have to fall into place in order for you to really make a living doing your side hustle. And for a lot of us, it's just going to be like something fun or just something for some extra cash. And it sucks. Like, it sucks when you get to that point. And I've definitely gotten there with a lot of stuff where like you start off with something that you like and you think that you're pretty good at it, or your friends tell you you're good at it. And then you start thinking about like how you could make money off of it. And then once you start adding money into the equation, then it kind of doesn't become fun anymore. And it just becomes work, you know? And you lose that passion, that spark, that like initial enjoyment. And then it sort of like loses the special feeling that you had when you first did your extracurricular, right? Like, there is a very big difference between like playing Magic the Gathering for fun versus going to tournaments and trying to make money off of it. Like, there is a big difference between like going to the casino and playing blackjack every once in a while versus like becoming like a professional gambler or a musician or a painter or a poet or whatever the fuck, right? Like, you can do all this stuff for fun, and it is fun, and it's something that you carve time out of your day to do because it makes you feel good. And then like as soon as it switches into like, maybe I can make money off of this, then it gets like really fucking weird. But it's important for everyone to have things that make them happy. Like, it's important for all of us to have extracurriculars, and we all do. Like, whether you kind of realize it or not, like, we all do. Like, we all have like activities that we enjoy. Maybe it's more productive than others. Who the fuck cares? Like, it's no one's business but your own. You know, no one's going to judge you on what you do in your spare time, or they shouldn't. If you do get judged for the stuff you do in your spare time and it's like normal, then whatever, fuck them. But like, you know, like, we all do stuff outside of work and our chores, and it's good to do that. But sometimes it kind of can get weird when you get caught in that capitalist trap of like, well, what if I could do this instead of working, you know? I find that a lot with people who have like expensive hobbies, you know? You work all day, you work all week, you use a percentage of your paycheck to buy more musical gear. And then one day you're like, oh, I've spent all this much money on gear, like I should try and be a professional musician or whatever the fuck it is, you know what I mean? And it's weird, like it's a weird dynamic to dance through, and some people do it better than others. But even if you're good at like navigating that space, like very few of us like can actually make our extracurricular activities graduate into like, you know, monetary pursuits that are like worthwhile, you know. But I don't know. I have my extracurriculars that I enjoy, and I know my homies do too, and I'm so stoked that like everyone has like their kind of nerdy, kind of weird, kind of whatever things that they enjoy to do. And I encourage everyone to continue to do that because like we need to have fun stuff, especially in this time where money's tight, the economy's fucked, and everyone's looking for more money. I just hope that people don't bleed themselves dry of enjoyment by trying to commodify literally everything. Keep some things fun. That game that you like, the art that you like to make, don't think about making money off of it all the time. Just do it for fun because you need that outlet, you know? But that being said, that's the end of the episode. Thank you guys for listening so much. Like, it really means the world to Andrew and I that you guys are still around. If you like the show, please like and subscribe. You can find The Hatening everywhere. Give us a good review. You know, it really means the world to us. You can find The Hatening on all social media platforms, and from there you can find the individual platforms or, usernames for myself and Andrew. Hit us up. We love that shit. Take care of yourself and the people around you, and don't forget to tell your friends you love them.